Now, overseas, more than 2,800 people, including at least 24 Americans, have died as we near 1 week now since Hamas terrorists attacked Israel.
Dozens of hostages have also been taken. So here are 3 things to know right now about the war that is raging between Israel and Hamas. First, more than 1 million people have been ordered to evacuate Gaza as Israel prepares for a ground strike there.
Number 2, as this evacuation process gets underway, the U.S. State Department says it's arranging flights to get Americans out of Israel.
Number 3, leaders from the U.S. are meeting with leaders from several parts of the Middle East today. They're trying to find ways to spare as many innocent lives as possible while bringing a swift end to this conflict.
Now, we've mentioned before this situation overseas didn't come out of thin air. There has been a long-standing conflict between Israel and Palestine for decades. We want to get a sharper insight into the history here. So Professor Dan Arbell from American University joins us this morning. Professor, good to see you this morning. The question that a lot of people want to know is, this didn't come out of thin air. How did we get to this point so quickly? To us in America, it seems quickly. So how did we get here?
So Israel occupied the Gaza Strip for 38 years until 2005, when it left unilaterally and vowed never to return. But since then, it was engaged in several cycles of confrontations with Hamas, who's controlling Gaza, launching rockets into Israel, infiltrating into Israeli territories, and killing civilians. It used to go back and forth, attacks, counterattacks, and then a ceasefire, and nothing was really established. This time around, Hamas decided to go all out and send militants from Gaza into Israel, killing over 1,300 people so far. That's the count right now, and just changing the rules that existed until now. Israel is forced now to launch a ground attack and uproot Hamas from Gaza, just remove Gaza from the equation. Right. That's kind of as background.
Right. So Dan, what does this mean for the entire world? Because a lot of people, when you're walking around, they will see this and they'll see war and they'll say this has been going on for however long it's been going on, for decade after decade, but they don't really see the impact that this has around the world and here in this country. So break that down for us.
So as we've seen the horrific scenes from Israel, Hamas is using ISIS-like tactics and methods, cruelty, barbarism, and it's a message to the entire world that nobody is immune from such terrorist attacks. And this could hit Europe, it could hit the United States, if we see, as we saw in 9/11, but this could repeat itself. So the world, as Secretary Blinken was in Israel yesterday, he said that there are 2 paths. There's the path of peace and coexistence, and there's the path of terrorism and destruction, which Hamas is pursuing. And there are actors in the region and outside the region that are prescribing to this path of terrorism and destruction, like Iran, like Hezbollah in Lebanon, and other actors, Al-Qaeda. So the world needs to watch out and be prepared to face such a threat in the future.
All right. So the White House response, they've sent money, sent all these supplies and everything, trying to assist in this. As far as a resolution, though, can you see any scenario where there's some kind of peaceful resolution to this conflict? I heard you talk about that when you're in your previous statement, but is there any scenario where there could be a peaceful resolution at this point anytime soon?
So there cannot be a peaceful resolution of this in the coming days. There will be a serious engagement, a serious confrontation in the coming days. But when the dust settles and the fighting is over, Hamas and Hamas removed from the equation, there's definitely a path for peace and perhaps a better future for both peoples, the Israelis and the Palestinians.
Right. Real quick, they're talking about moving all of these people out of that area because of this ground offensive. And it could create a humanitarian crisis. Is that something that's on everybody's radar? Is this just part of the conversation? Is there any way around that?
It is. It was mentioned that Secretary Blinken is in the region right now, meeting with leaders, King of Jordan, Egyptian leaders, Gulf leaders. And so they're talking about, first of all, not preventing the conflict from spreading to other fronts, like the Lebanese front or the West Bank front, but they're also looking at ways to alleviate the suffering of the Palestinians in terms of finding a way of safe passage, a humanitarian corridor to supply them with goods and so on and so forth. So that is on the radars of a lot of people.
All right. Dan, thank you very much this morning. Dan Arbell is a scholar in residence. He is he was for 25 years in the Israeli Foreign Services. He was also Ministry of Foreign Affairs at the headquarters in Jerusalem as well. So he has lots of insight into what's going on and what's happening and how this relates to the rest of the world. So Dan, we appreciate you getting up with us this morning and giving us some insight into all this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Thank you.
Right. Take care. All right, we will, of course, continue following all of the developments out of Israel. For updates anytime, you can download the WUSA 9 app on your phone and watch us anytime on the free WUSA 9 Plus streaming app.